This is the Casio Royale. This is the best cheap watch you can get, I think, period. So this model is the AE1200WH. It comes in a couple different variants. Let's have a look at it. Again, standard Casio box. This is your cheap pickup. They have these in stores all over the place. They do not waste money or materials on packaging with these cheap Casios, and that's pretty good. Little white and blue box. Love the white and blue box. And then here we go on the talker. 10-year battery, world timer. 5 alarms, 100-meter water resistance. There's our watch. And then again, with the 10-year battery, they really want you to know that. Booklet stuffed inside, like always with our Casios. Comes off this little stand pretty easily. And little plastic cover on the face, because these are plastic crystals. And so they will scratch. So this is the most basic world timer they have. This model comes in green, it comes in silver, it comes in a metal bracelet with a faux metal case, which is actually my preference for this watch. Your standard 4-button pushers for that G-Shock style. This watch, unlike the Casio that I reviewed, the pushers are very easy to access. I mean, yes, that means that you could accidentally access them, but light. Just hitting the light button and having it easily accessible in the dark makes a big difference. And there you are, by the way. There's that light. It is a pretty good. It's 2 LEDs, one on each side here, prioritizing the time, and then kind of like fading into the rest of the watch. You get about maybe 3 seconds of light there, and then you have your standard adjust and mode, as well as light and search to navigate through this watch's features. You get a little analog display right there on the face for the time. You get a readout of what time zone the watch is currently displaying. So this looks like it's showing up in Australia? Yeah. In one of the Australian time zones, maybe Sydney. And then you get your main readout here. So you've got the time, the day, and the date. If we move through the features, there's New York City, London, Paris, Tokyo. It doesn't adjust automatically. It doesn't receive any radio signals or anything. You do have to set the time once, but then based on the time zone you're looking at, it'll give you the proper time. Instead of a GMT, if you're going to a place that might not be that safe, no one's lifting this off your wrist. It's a $10 to $20 watch, depending on where you're buying it. It is phenomenal for that. There's UTC. You've got your alarms. It has 5 alarms, as it states right on the dial. A timer, so you can start timing stuff. A stopwatch. These can run all at the same time. So you get your stopwatch and your timer running at the same time. And then back to the time and date. And so all that is controlled from the little mode button at the bottom here. Adjust, you use that to change these times and dates features or time zones. It's a pretty slim watch. I'll throw up the stats for this guy here so you can see. It's not too far lug to lug width, although the lug width is a bit of a lie because they do kind of taper it out here on the band. Actually, let's take a look at that band, by the way. So this is your standard, cheap Casio watch band. unlike the Casio that I reviewed, it does have some articulation in the band, so that does make it a little more comfortable. Because it is so small, it might actually be too small for your wrist and need to be flexed out like that. It does have that little kind of dive extension, although it doesn't really stretch too much, so I wouldn't count on it for anything more than flexing. And obviously it's not a dive watch with 100 meters of water resistance. Steel case back with a model number, and stainless steel, water resistant, 100 or 10 bar, which is 100 meters, made in China. And you'll see down there, it might be a little bit difficult to see, but it does say 10-year battery in it. And so at the end of this 10 years, I mean, this watch costs about as much as one of the batteries for it does. So you might as well just toss this sucker. It doesn't seem, you know, eco-responsible, but that's, I think, really what they're designed for. I actually have, so this is one I just picked up, but I had one already in the silver version with the steel bracelet. And I've taken this to tropical climates with me all over the place. And I've taken it in the water, in brackish water, in salt water, in fresh water, and it holds up well. My preference on any watch is for a bracelet, a metal bracelet. When we're looking at the metal bracelet version, and you can see mine's a bit scuffed up, that articulation is still there. It is a cheap metal bracelet. The way that you size it are these pins that you push in and out right here, and it's a folded metal link bracelet. I mean, it's what you're getting. The metal versions go usually for around $20 versus the 10 or 15 that you get for the plastic band. This is definitely silver plastic. You're not getting a metal case on this model. Either way, it's light, it's comfortable, it's super comfortable, and if you really wanted to, just like I mentioned on the Casio video, you can get these adapters that allow you to put whatever band you want on it and not have it look ridiculous. I've seen people who swap out bands on this without those adapters, and it's a very tiny, I believe it's a 16 mil lug width, and that's a tiny strap, and it doesn't fit even with this small light watch. So that plastic crystal, if you scratch it, you could use some polywatch and remove those scratches, but just know that it scratches pretty easily. The watch band on this guy, not terribly long. Looks like it'll fit like a pretty substantial range of people. Pretty comfortably. Single keeper here. Little Casio buckle. It's kind of nice. It's a great little watch, and I think a really good looking watch. I know the dial is a little cluttered, but I think it's a really good looking watch. So I will throw up the stats on this guy for you here. Thanks for watching, everyone.